welcome to this edition of Mid-South Viewpoint. I'm Byron Tyler. Brian Callies is the founder of the Brian Callies Foundation and executive director of Saving Lost Kids. Brian, welcome to Mid-South Viewpoint.
Oh, I'm so honored and blessed to be here. This is wonderful. We've known each other for a little while.
I know we've known each other. We've crossed paths in so many different arenas over the years. Cheryl Bone.
Yes.
Can we dedicate today's show to Cheryl?
I would love that.
She's in a great place right now in the presence of Jesus.
Yeah. She's where we'd rather be.
Exactly.
If we had a choice.
What a stormtrooper for the kingdom.
Absolutely.
I mean, she was relentless.
She had such a passion for helping people and being she showed me what real outreach ministry was. That's every time I turned around, she's doing something.
Wow.
Convoy of Hope.
Yes.
She worked in that. She worked for just over and over and over again. Just amazing ministry woman, just always outreaching, always doing something for the kingdom.
She was trying to connect us, and say, you got to meet Brian. And it's not that I didn't want to. It was just timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, and we would see each other. Oh, yeah, let's get together. And then, things happen.
Trying to pin either one of us down at the time was probably hard.
I saw a post the other day on Facebook that you made about the ministry Saving Lost Kids and a project that is about to launch. And it's so exciting, and it's addressing a very critical need in our world today, and sadly right here in our area when it comes to sex trafficking and sex trafficking among children. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to talk about the ministry of Saving Lost Kids, which is dedicated to saving missing, exploited, and sex trafficked children through awareness, education, prevention, unification, and practical solutions. And you're moving forward with this new project to build a trauma-informed long-term restoration community with on-site services for girls, minors through age 19, who have been exploited through sex trafficking.
That's exactly right. We, what God's showing me, and it keeps, when God gives you a vision on something, sometimes it's bigger than you can grasp. But somebody said it to me yesterday, and it was kind of amazing. They said this will be the biggest thing to help sex trafficking that we've ever done in the country. So, and now thinking about it that way is a scary thing to think.
And that's happening right here in our community.
It is. It's going to happen right here in Tennessee, preferably West Tennessee. So we're still working on the exact location of where the facility is going to be. I've got meetings constantly to figure out where we're going to pin it down. 2019,
Brian, news article stated that human trafficking is the second highest rising crime in Tennessee. Human trafficking touches just about every county in Tennessee, and the average age victims when they begin is 13 years old. Is this a big reason for your desire to see this long-term restoration community on-site service for girls to become a reality?
So let me tell you how it works in my faith journey. Everybody's got their own. I'm a soldier, let's say. God gives me an instruction to do, and then it's my job to just do it. That's the way I feel. So I let God usually try to lead me on things. And one thing I didn't do about 4 years ago, I've preached this, I've taught this, I've shared this with youth. I've always worked with youth. I love working with youth. I'm Boy Scout and Eagle Scout, all that stuff, and troop leaders. But I've never done one thing. So God showed me this, and it was a message to give to another pastor at the time. And this is what he told me. He said, Brian, there's two different ways to follow me. And I'm going to tell you how this works in my conversations with God, right? So you mean right or wrong? He said, no, you got two different ways to follow me. Okay, you're going to have to explain that because I don't get it. I have to say that a lot, by the way. And he says, well, you can do what most people do, most pastors do, that kind of stuff. They come up with really good ideas. They have great motive. They've got great intent. And what they are basically doing, like they're trying to get my endorsement behind this idea. And so they might have an inspiration from God on this or something in the Bible. And I said, okay, well, that doesn't sound too bad. That seems like a smart way to go. He goes, yeah. Or there's another alternative. See, you can just follow my plan. But here's the thing with my plan. If I give you my plan, most of the time, you'll think you can come up with something better. Most of the time, you won't agree with it. I said, oh, that's harder. Okay, let me ask you this. How do you know which plan you're on? And he goes, that's a very good question. It's all about how you pray about it. I said, okay, well, you have to explain that one because I don't get it. And what he told me is, well, if you're praying that the plan works out, the plan succeeds, it's most likely not my plan in the sense that it's mostly something you came up with, and you're still asking for my endorsement and support of it. Not saying I won't, not saying I didn't help inspire that idea, but if it's a bold plan, something I just gave you, you're going to be praying about it different. You're going to be praying that you have the ability, the capability to stay on something, even when you don't see it working, even when you don't feel like this is the best idea. You're going to be praying for, all right, Lord, help. I know you gave me this. I don't get it. Help me to stay on this thing. And that, he said, is most likely going to be my plan. I said, all right, I'm in. I'm going to give you the reins. Give me something I don't know, something I didn't come up with. And so I took off 2 weeks where I'm just like, all right, you give me something. And so he gave me a couple of things. Number one, he wanted me to continue doing ministry. And I said, thank you, because I like that. And he goes, then I want you to go save lost kids. And that was his actual thing, his words. I want you to go save lost kids. I said, you mean like ministry, right? Like, they're not found Jesus yet, that kind of thing. No, missing, exploited sex trafficking. And I literally told him, what are you trying to get me into? I mean, I love kids and I work with kids all the time, but I don't know this. I mean, isn't this a law enforcement thing? And so this was a little over 4 years ago. And so I went to every law enforcement thing I could think of to try to get involved in this. And from start to finish, every little group, every big group, they all told me the same thing. We don't really do that. Like we have little aspects of that we'll touch, but you can't devote yourself to just doing that. We don't have the resources, the manpower, the jurisdiction, you can't just sign up to go work on that project.
So this is starting to sound like a God-sized project now.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is getting big. And the more I get into it, the more I realize how much the problem was. And we got into it and said, wow, this is one of the biggest problems on the planet. But nobody talks about it. It's all under the rug, and it's all, we had, like everybody that I talked to about this, I thought this was handled. I really did. I thought there were things in place to take care of this problem. And once we got into it and found out how big of a problem this is and how it affects so many children, then we're like, okay, well, now we got to do something. And that's what God was doing, is lead me on another journey to get me on board, to understand, to see. And so then we started, all right, well, if we can't find something connect to that's great, well, then let's create something that's great. And so we said, all right, well, we'll start the nonprofits up. And so God opened up that door with the guy that I didn't even know existed. And it was an easy thing. And it was, we started up the Callies Foundation, and its job is, its mission, let's say, is saving lost kids. So we started with that, started going out and doing public events. I found out it's better to go to where people are, not to bring them to us. Because the only people that will come to us for help are ones that already knew they were in trouble. And so it would limit it. Like, we'd set up some booths and stuff like that and hand out literature. But, what do you see? Like a tenth, if not even close to that, usually, of the people that really needed the help. So we said, all right, let's change the whole model, and we'll go out to the public. And so every public event, every fair, festival, schools, churches, and we'll go out to where there's thousands, and we're going to offer them something to entice them to come over and think about the child's safety for a minute, because almost every parent that I've ever spoken to has never really thought this was a problem. They didn't get it. And so it turns out that of all the kids that say go missing, almost all of this is avoidable.
Yes.
If the child just made a safer choice. So we ended up on our prevention side, and we got Callies Foundation is the parent 501c3 of the organization, but nobody can spell that if I ask you to go to the website, right? So we got to be known under our other name, our mission statement of saving kids. So we got to be known as the Saving Kids people. And so we said, all right, let's go ahead and put that out then as a nonprofit's face side is saving lost kids. Easier to see.
Brian, our nation is divided, as you well know. Cries over racism, justice, equality. Human trafficking is a form of modern slavery. The U.S. Department of Justice reports that 62%, or more than half, of the confirmed sex trafficking victims are African American. Where's the outrage and where's the protest over this injustice?
Oh, I agree with you totally. It's one of the biggest things we worked on in the first part is that awareness thing, because nobody knows about this. And you can't be outraged when you don't know, right? So what we're seeing today, I think, is little things come to light in the news, and now everybody goes, wow, I didn't know that. Now let's protest and let's get behind this. So I really wish that people would understand the problem of sex trafficking like they do that. Because, not to minimize what we're fighting right now with police officer involved, the shooting, no matter what side of that argument you're wanting to think about, that's we're talking about at most, 100? Maybe, if we're going to say that there's 100 cases that we're going to actually talk about. Okay, I can tell you about 100 cases just in Shelby County of sex trafficking. I mean, in the nation, I mean, this is okay. Nationally, it's the fastest growing crime in America, nationally. Now, they'll report in Tennessee it's the second fastest growing crime, and I don't know if I see where their statistics of all this are really coming from, but nationally it is the fastest growing crime in America, and it's due to outdo the two top number one crimes in America, which is guns and drugs. And it's due to outperform them as far as the heinous crimes in America that can happen. So it is such a problem that nobody speaks about. And we try to put it in the backs of law enforcement, but that's not where the problem really is. Law enforcement's job, remember, is to arrest a bad guy, right? We haven't addressed the problem, which is why we're doing so much prevention work, that it starts not with just the bad guy. He's not the only one that's in this picture. Most of all this is avoidable, by the way, 90%. If the child would make a safe choice, recognize a safe choice, make that safe choice. If the parent knew about where the dangers are and knew these red flags, we could avoid it. But instead of that, we end up waiting and do that recovery piece and try to rescue the girls. And by that point, it's kind of like waiting till after you get cancer to worry about cancer. Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't want to wait till then. So now you got to fight and work, and these girls now have been totally abused in such a way that their whole future is impacted.
Yeah, and they need a safe place for healing, for recovery. And that's why you are looking for a location that's still being considered right now. A number of choices in West Tennessee. Plans are for a 75 to 100 acre, 18-building facility with all services on the site. 10 homes will be open in the first phase and 20 homes in the second phase. And each home supports 5 girls who will have their own bedroom and bathroom and a full-time house mother.
In Tennessee, there's not much at all that can really take a child that has gone through this trauma and help them to get to a place in their life where they're not going to remain a victim the rest of their lives, and to help them to realize that they're worth something. Help them to realize that men aren't supposed to be like this.
Yes.
Now, if they don't have help like that, they will stay in this place.
Yes, it's a trap.
Most likely, the odds are they're going to be dead within 7 years. That's pretty much the odds. So we have to. It's not just an option. And I love all our nonprofits in Memphis. We got a ton of them. Trying to just connect to a nonprofit. I connected one family, 27 nonprofits. That model fails. It doesn't work because it's not a combined, unionized, together collaborative effort. It's more of, well, let's do this, 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 and this. When then these things that here don't work, then the rest of them are kind of pointless, because if you don't have these, and it just became the hardest thing to do. It took my full-time commitment, take several of my team's full-time commitments, and it didn't produce the results we wanted to produce.
Is this funded through private donations? Are there government funds? And are we talking about a facility that would be faith-based, that would be based on healing, transforming through the power of Jesus Christ?
Absolutely. So the location I found to help a child and connect the dots was in this other state. The problem is that's really, really hard string to pull. And to move a girl from one state to another is even harder. And we were able to pull that string once, but we can't duplicate that. So when we were asked by FBI, CPS, those kind of things to ask for help us with a solution, our solution was, well, then why don't we build something in Tennessee? I mean, that's what we're focused on is Tennessee, but we can do it for the Mid-South area and get it more inclusive where everybody gets to be a part of this thing. And so rather than reinventing a wheel, well, let's just take the wheel that's working brilliantly in this other state, and they have 6 years track record. We can take that model and mirror that here. So we're not inventing something that's completely brand new. We have years worth of research and education on this, and we'll tweak it to fit what we're doing here in Tennessee. So in Tennessee, we finally announced last Friday is when we came to the agreement that we will be building the largest sex trafficking facility for the largest, let's call it a restoration care facility for girls only, girls who have been recovered. They were victims of sex trafficking. It's very specific what we're doing. It's only for girls right now, and it's only for those that have been recovered from sex trafficking. So everybody in the project and everybody is very tailored to this specific issue.
Right.
And it is going to be the largest in the country.
Brian, this is so exciting. There's opportunities for all aspects of the community that are watching and listening to our program right now to show support for a project that is going to change lives for the better. People can sign up for monthly donations, provide for one of the construction items, to become a connector to build and support the network here. This is a wonderful opportunity for God's people to come together.
Amen. And we're modeling this because I met with St. Jude and ALSAC, and St. Jude has just got a brilliant way that they open up the doors to let people be a part of the solution. And that's what we're looking for. Everybody needs to be a part of this. This isn't about us at all. It isn't about the state. This goes beyond all that. So we are asking everybody that if you want to become a monthly partner and monthly donor, it doesn't take much, $19, done. I mean, that it makes you a partner with this problem, and we have to address this problem. It is the biggest swept under the rug issue that we have today, that people need to understand how bad this problem is and that we can help these girls. We don't have to just let their whole lives be thrown away because something bad happened to them.
Yes.
So we want you to connect to us, savinglostkids.org, O-R-G, savinglostkids.org. The Restoration Project is what we've nicknamed it so far, but we reached out trying to get everybody to contribute to the name. So we're just wanting everybody to be a part of this. So if you want to be part of the build, it's going to be a 100-acre campus. It's going to have roughly 20 buildings, 18 to 20 buildings on the first phase. It'll be opened up for 50 girls. Each house, there'll be 10 houses. Each house is going to have 5 girls in it. So we need houses built, right? So if you're a construction guy and you want to donate a roof, you want to donate plumbing, you want to donate I'll help stick frame it, I'll help with the concrete, do one thing. We don't have to do the whole thing. Just volunteer, donate one thing. If everybody did just one little step, one thing, bring all that together, man, we've got something so beautiful that we could not do on our own. So it's not about grants, even though we're going to ask for grants, right? And we're already applying for those. It's not about all that. It's about you doing one thing. Maybe you're a connector. Maybe that's your part. So I don't know the governor personally, but we're looking for his endorsement here in the next couple of weeks. And I don't know him personally, but if somebody out there knows, say the governor or something like that, whoever you might know a senator, do that connection piece. You stay connected to those 5 people and you share the project with them, get them connected to the project, and you stay in that role. You're a connector for us. And that way, everybody gets to be a part of this huge, awesome movement. And it's more like that St. Jude logic where everybody gets to, hey, I support, help. I'm a part of this mission.
You remember Danny Thomas built St. Jude for just $1. Send me $1. Send me $1.
I love that. We need to do that. All right. I challenge everybody on here on the that's listening or able to view this. I challenge you to sign up for $1 a month.
Yeah. Of course, let's
$1 a month. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Well, let's add inflation inflation to that, okay?
Okay.
Since, of course, St. Jude's been around a while, so inflation. So I would say let's move it up to $20 a month, right?
Oh, okay. Well, 19 is the pretty number, right? That people
19,
say.
love it.
But $19 a month, I'm telling you, that can absolutely radically change these girls' lives. I mean, it's just, if you would see the mothers that come up to us and the kids that come up to us and how broken they are, it'll make you cry. It'll absolutely rip your heart out but it's something we can do something about.
Yes.
And so we really need your help. So $19 a month, an upfront donation of $100 is not as great as $19 a month. That monthly thing means you're a partner with us and you become a part of this mission and this project. So the Restoration Project right now, but it'll have probably a cooler name.
And you can keep up with all the details by following the website savinglostkids.org, savinglostkids.org. Brian Callies, God bless you, my brother.
Bless you, buddy. Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you for what you and your whole team is doing for Christ's kingdom to save lost kids.
Amen. We're just following what the Commander-in-Chief told us to do. So.
That's great. Friends, that's all the time we have on this edition of Mid-South Viewpoint. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget that web address again, savinglostkids.org. I'm Byron Tyler, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.